I did have a slight internal panic attack when I first saw them. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I have not made a video in like 2 years, so I feel like it's kind of like a welcome back to me too, now that I think about it. But as you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be getting lip filler for the first time, and I just kind of wanted to document my whole process. I'm like very much the kind of person that is type A planner, does lots of research for big things like this or like trips or anything like that. And so when doing research for lip filler, I feel like I didn't really find a comprehensive enough video that kind of showed the whole process and answered all my questions, at least not for like the area I'm in. I live in San Diego, and so I kind of just wanted to make my own. So yeah, that is what we're going to do today. If you do not agree with plastic surgery or cosmetic procedures, obviously this is not the video for you. But if you are curious or you are doing your own research, then hopefully this is helpful. If you're just interested in seeing like before and after results, I will put a timestamp somewhere on the screen where that is shown. It's probably going to be later in the video. So I have my first consultation today in like 30-ish minutes. What I want to go over now is the questions I'm going to be asking and kind of what I'm hoping to get out of this. I'm going to 3 different consultations. My first one is today. 3 might sound kind of excessive. It sounds a little excessive now that I say it out loud. And I feel like if I didn't do enough and something were to go wrong, you know, on accident, I would be blaming myself. I would have something to blame it on, like, you know, if I only did more research, this wouldn't have happened, and yada, 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 even if that's not the case. But if I do enough research to like my own satisfaction and then something goes wrong, it's like, okay, what more could I have done, kind of thing, if that makes sense. So today I'm going to SD Botox in San Diego. This one I'm the most excited for out of all my other consultations, just because it's the only one that I've talked to people who've actually gone there for their lips. The other 2 places I'm going to like have great reviews, but I don't know anybody that's gone there. In terms of questions I'm going to be asking, the most important question I'm going to be asking is the recommendation for the type of filler. I know Juvederm is probably the most commonly known. I don't know if it's the most popular per se, but it's definitely like the one I knew over any other type of derma filler. But the one I think I'm going to get is, or at least like what I'm leaning towards just based off of my own research, is called Restylane. And the reason for that is because I've heard more negative things happen with Juvederm than any other derma filler. I've heard that a lot of times Juvederm can cause lip migration or filler migration. It's when the filler migrates out of the place where you intended for it to stay. But it doesn't look cute, and I would hate to spend all this money on Juvederm just to get it dissolved, which I've heard is like the worst pain in the world, and then pay more for a different type of filler. Again, that is just based off of things I have watched in videos and read online, but I would take a professional's opinion much more seriously than like my own research, so I am very curious to see what she says on that. Among other things, obviously I'm gonna ask like price points, and then just kind of like your other basic questions about what to expect in terms of the healing process and the immediate side effects, bruising. Is there anything I can do to get ready for the procedure to prevent bruising or anything like that? And that is more or less kind of it. I will be asking probably the same questions in every single consultation, unless I think of new questions to ask in the following ones. Now, for things I'm hoping or curious to see what comes out of this aside from fuller lips, within the past like a year or so, I feel like I have been noticing my nose. Okay, so I have never had an issue with my nose. I love my nose, actually. I think it's a great size, a cute shape, you know. But because my lips don't have a lot of volume to them, like if you were to look at it on my side profile, I feel like it makes my nose look bigger. And I don't know if I'm just thinking of that and I'm just hyperfixating on my face. I am hoping that if my lips are fuller, have more volume to them, then my nose will kind of fit my face better. But again, I'm probably just thinking too much of it. And then the last thing is, I don't even think lip filler would do anything with this, but I feel like when I smile and when I talk, I use like the left side of my mouth more, and it goes higher than the right side of my mouth. I noticed it especially when I smile, and sometimes my smile looks like slanted a little bit. So that is kind of all the questions and things that I'm going to be talking about during my consultation. I think for now that's mostly it, and I will update you when I get back. So I got back not too long ago. Overall, it was a super easy appointment, super quick. It was just a consult, so it wasn't gonna be that long anyways. In terms of the questions I had for her, for the part of like the left side of my mouth kind of going up, she said, yeah, it's definitely like a Botox thing that would be closer to the answer than like anything with filler, but she did suggest that I would just do filler first and let it completely heal before I kind of do something else. In terms of like the volume of my lips and like my side profile, she was like, yeah, it's kind of just like an illusion that is happening due to you not having like super volumized lips. Sounds like weird, but you know what I mean. It was honestly like kind of nice when I told her. I just explained how I did to you. I was like, you know, I've never had a problem with my nose. I don't think I have a big nose, but I feel like because my lips, when it's my side profile or from a certain angle, like my nose looks bigger. And she didn't like say, oh no, it looks fine. She was like kind of just honest with me, but not like in a mean way, if that makes sense, but is kind of refreshing and just nice. And then in terms of my questions, one that I forgot that I was gonna ask that I didn't mention earlier in the video was how much to start out with, because the practical side of my brain is like, you should start off with a half syringe, because if you get a half syringe, you are paying for a full syringe. You can't just pay for a half syringe. So the practical side of my brain is like, I should get a half syringe, because what if they're too big? And then that would be terrible to have to go through if I want them dissolved. But then the money side of my brain is like, well, what if you do really like it and you wish you had more? And then you have to wait a few months and then you're spending the exact same amount of money, and just like, that's just where my thought process was. So I went in and I asked her about that, and she said more often than not, girls who get half syringes come back in within the next 1 to 2 months to get more. They do only have one type of Juvederm that comes in a half syringe. It starts at $450. Every other filler they have only comes in full syringes, but I'm still undecided. But yeah, other than that, the rest of the fillers start at $700. Pretty much it. She went over a couple of things about like how to prevent bruising. She actually wrote down the top fillers she recommended, which I should probably get that out right now. So she did recommend the one I was talking about earlier, but also 2 different types of Juvederm. And I asked her about, you know, Juvederm and lip migration, and she said most of the time when lip migration happens, at least in her experience, it's from people who've been getting filler for many years and haven't taken a break. And she explained if you're gonna do if you get filler pretty regularly, at a certain point, it would be a good idea to completely dissolve it and kind of start over, which I had never heard about, but I thought that was pretty interesting. And then she also gave me these little tablets to take before I did schedule an appointment, just in case, but to take before my appointment to help reduce the swelling and bruising. But yeah, I did set an appointment, so we will see if I end up keeping it. Okay, so it's a few days later. I finished up with my 3rd consultation yesterday, and the 2nd one was the day before that. So for my 2nd consultation, I went on Friday, and that was to a place called Inspire Wellness in San Diego. The way I found this place was through Groupon, which I know is sketchy, but I just figured I would look up lip filler on there just to see options, and I did find they had a certain type of filler on sale, but obviously I wasn't going to purchase it without going to a consultation. Immediately though, it was a very different experience from SD Botox. It's not like a chain kind of med spa. It's like I don't even know if they have another location. I think this might just be the only one. The man that owns the company is an MD, which kind of puts my mind a little bit at ease in terms of bad things that could happen after filler. I forget what the actual word is, but if your injector accidentally puts it in a vein or an artery, that is very bad and you need to get it dissolved like immediately. I'm sure they're just as qualified as people at SD Botox and other kind of multi-location chain med spa kind of places, but just from an outsider perspective, that's kind of my initial thought. And the other really important thing that I noticed kind of before my consultation was there's 2 receptionists, and then the lady that actually ended up giving me my consultation was out and about, and they looked so natural. Like I could not tell they had anything done with their face, to the point where I asked the lady that was giving me the consultation, like, do you have lip filler? What do you have done to your face kind of thing? Because she looked so natural. And it's not like the people at SD Botox looked bad. They were beautiful. They were so nice. But you could tell that they had filler in, lip filler. And again, it's not like it looked bad. It was just a little bit more noticeable. And I could totally just be noticing it because I've been hyperfixating on this for like the past few weeks. So it could totally just be me. I'm sure if they're walking down the street and you're not looking up filler, you wouldn't notice, they'd be fine. It looked like the women at Inspire Wellness just looked so natural. It was, and I know I just keep repeating that word, but it was just like crazy. I did like almost immediately bring up the Groupon thing just because I was curious why. And she said that normally all of their syringes are $600, which is more of the price I was expecting. So when SD Botox said $700, that was definitely a little bit on the higher end, in my opinion, just from research I've done. So she said normally they're all $600. The reason they had one on sale, and I forget which kind was on sale. It wasn't one that I was really considering getting, but it was on sale for $420, and she said they were just having a promotional sale on it for some reason. But the one she would recommend was Juvederm Ultra, and the one that starts with an R that is nicknamed Kysse, or has Kysse at the end, but she definitely recommended Juvederm Ultra. And she said if I wanted to end up booking an appointment, she would give it to me for $475. So it was definitely better in terms of price, but it wasn't like so cheap that I was worried that she was gonna mess up my face, you know what I mean? A couple other things she mentioned, which I have no clue if this is what everybody else does, but it just sounded great to my ears, was that she uses Botox needles, which are a little bit smaller than traditional filler needles from the way she was putting it, and that can help reduce bruising and swelling. In terms of, you know, lip migration, because when she first mentioned Juvederm, that's kind of what I immediately thought. She basically said the exact same thing that my consult at SD Botox said, which was, you know, that's usually just happens to people who are getting too much. Everybody's face and metabolism and body handles it differently. So you can only put in so much before the filler has to go somewhere else, is how she phrased it. In terms of the amount, she said a full syringe should be totally fine. She doesn't even know if she would use up the entire syringe. Another thing I want to bring up that I really kind of respected that she mentioned was this place doesn't put more than one syringe in their clients at a time. And it kind of reminded me of tattoo artists and how they'll decline clients depending on what their tattoo is and where they want it. And it made me think of this because when I was getting this tattoo, I originally wanted it on my hand or my finger. A lot of places declined me as a client because tattoos on your hand just fade really fast. They don't hold up. As a tattoo artist, your artwork, like you're putting your name on the artwork that you perform on people. So if it's not gonna last or it's gonna look bad in like a year, they have a higher chance of not wanting to take you. And so it made me feel the same way when she said they don't put in more than one syringe because they don't want to put their name on somebody who ends up just having really unnatural looking lips. I don't know, I could see why some people would be unhappy with that, but for me personally, it kind of just made me feel like they really care about obviously the results, and they just take a lot of pride in their work. Other than that, the lady was very nice, very comforting. She ended up giving me her personal phone number to text her if I had any questions about it, and I ended up booking an appointment for next Monday, just in case. I did still have another consult to go to the next day, which was yesterday, but just in case, I just left there feeling really, really good. I don't know, I just had a little bit of a different feeling leaving that place than SD Botox. And any other questions I had, like my nose and my side profile, basically all the answers were kind of the same. So I was pretty confident I was going to keep this appointment, but I still wanted to go to my third consultation, which was yesterday, and I ended up going to Revive, which is kind of a similar feeling place as SD Botox. So that was what I was expecting, you know, a place that has multiple locations, kind of a chain med spa, if you will. And again, everybody was super nice. Their syringes ranged from $650 to $700. She recommended Juvederm Ultra as the #1, and the second was the Kysse one. Again, I'll put the name of it on the screen. But other than that, the answers were pretty much all the same. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned, but I did bring up my scar, if my scar would like be affected by the filler. Every single place said no, it's like a very superficial scar, you should be totally fine. The only thing that really deterred me was the results that I saw from the ladies I talked with were just a little bit more noticeable. It's not even like they looked unnatural, it was just a little bit more noticeable. Obviously no shame to people who go to these places. This was just the feelings I got. But yeah, nothing was like super special or out of the ordinary at Revive. Like nothing extraordinarily good or nothing bad happened. It was just, I was pretty set on Inspire Wellness going into the appointment. Overall, I was very happy with my consultations. I didn't end up booking an appointment because I had the one booked for next Monday. I probably could have gone without doing my third one, but just to put my mind at ease, I'm very glad I did. So my official appointment is next Monday. It's gonna be at 5:30. My birthday is that Friday, so I'm definitely not doing myself any favors by having it that close together, but I'm not really doing anything special for my birthday. I'm very excited, a little bit nervous, but mostly excited. So today is the day that I have my appointment, that I'm officially getting my lips done, and I wanted to pop in here really quick to show the official before of my lips, but more importantly to kind of explain some things I've been doing to prep for it, like things I've been adding to my routine and then things I've been avoiding. Prep, I have been actively drinking lots of water, and that's something every single consultation told me to do. Also, and I believe I mentioned this in the last clip, I've been taking arnica pills, which are, it's like a homeopathic pain relief medicine that helps with bruising and swelling, and I'm gonna continue to take them as my lips are healing. But since Saturday, today is Monday by the way, I've been taking one in the morning, one at night. That's something every single consultation told me as well. And then the last thing I've been adding into my routine that I read about that nobody really told me in my consultations was pineapple juice or eating pineapple. So I just got like a little 6-pack of pineapple juice cans, and I've been having one a day since Saturday, and then I'll just finish off the next 3 days as I'm healing. But in terms of avoiding things, first and foremost is alcohol. It just thins your blood and it can increase the chances of bruising. I'm not sure about swelling, but bruising for sure. In every consultation, they told me like 24 to 48 hours. If it sounds like I'm out of breath, it's because I am, because I just got back from a run. But I've also been avoiding any Advil, Tylenol, and then a few things I looked up were also like omega-3s, fish oil, certain medicines or like daily vitamins. I think like a B12 complex. I don't know, certain things like that can also thin your blood. So I haven't been taking any of that since Saturday. I've also been avoiding like intense workouts. I'm not sure if I was only supposed to avoid it the day of getting the filler or and a few days after, or like, you know, 48 hours before. I just decided to go with that anyways, just to kind of avoid all that. I'm trying to think. Other than that, I think that's kind of it. Alcohol is like the big one that you really want to avoid. In terms of what I'm gonna do after, that's definitely where I need some advice from the lady that's going to do my lips. So this is the official before. I should probably get in the light. So yeah, that is my little scar right there. And yeah, so that is that. Like I said, I'm leaving in about an hour. I will show you like right after I get out of it, and then I'll like pop in to give an update like over the next couple of days. But until then, that's it. So I just got back. They look very swollen, and I did have a slight internal panic attack when I first saw them. But I'm just trying to trust the process and tell my brain that they're gonna be swollen for the next few days. So, oh my gosh, they're so swollen. And like, I like the shape, but this top lip is so swollen, and she poked the top lip more. She put a little bit more in the top lip than she did the bottom, so that's why. But I like when I smile. It's like nice and even. I'm also like pretty numb, so my smiling is not, you know, the best, but that is kind of what they look like right after. I'm just going to ice them for the rest of the night and continue to take arnica and drink lots of water. Tomorrow is supposed to be the worst day for bruising and swelling, so that'll be great to wake up to. Guess I'll just check in tomorrow to see what they look like. I just can't stop staring at them. They look freaking huge. Oh my gosh. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. Okay, so it's the next day. I just got back from a hair appointment, but I wanted to give you an update on what the lips look like. They're definitely more swollen, and this will go down. In terms of bruising, like this spot right here was kind of like a purpley color last night, so the fact that it's already kind of red means it's healing. And I'm like kind of shocked that I would call this minimal bruising, honestly. I'm like really shocked that I didn't bruise more, but I guess that means that the stuff I was doing worked. I also wanted to come on here and explain how the actual process went, because I realized yesterday when I recorded what it looked like right after, I didn't explain how the procedure went at all. I was slightly in shock still and kind of contemplating regretting my decision. I don't regret my decision, it's just, it takes some getting used to. The actual procedure honestly was super easy, and I had this numbing cream on my lips for about 5 minutes. After that, I think she ended up using the full syringe, but we weren't sure if she was going to at first. I think I mentioned this, but she uses Botox needles, which supposedly help with the pain and swelling, but honestly, who knows if they actually do. When she's going on the outer parts of my lips, that was like a little pinch, and some of them I didn't even really feel at all. The ones that hurt the most, and they didn't even hurt that bad, like it really was if you just kind of poked your lip with like a needle, which I know sounds like so obvious, but that's really all it feels like, and it hurts for like 2 seconds, like a tiny little pinch, and then it's over. But the areas that hurt the most were like my inner middle parts of my lips, both the top and bottom. But overall, the pain was like nothing to worry about. My appointment was at 5:30. I was probably done by a little after 6, but I did have to wait in the waiting room a little bit before she called me back. So if you're worried about the pain, don't be. The pain is like really nothing to worry about. After that, she kind of just told me to keep taking the arnica tablets, drinking lots of water, not doing any intense workouts today, not drinking alcohol or taking Advil for at least 48 hours. I have been taking arnica tablets 2 every 6 hours. I read the back of the kind that I got, and turns out I can take more than I was taking before. And then I've been having like a can of pineapple juice. And this should be the worst day for the swelling, so hopefully tomorrow there's a little bit of a difference for swelling and bruising. So the last clip you saw was filmed in August of 2022, and it is now January of 2023, and you know, I don't really have a good excuse for why I never finished this video, but I originally got filler on a Monday and my birthday was on a Friday, and I didn't have a whole lot of things planned, but I ended up making some plans last minute and kind of completely forgot to film any more updates or like check-in videos for my lips. And so I wasn't even gonna post this video anymore, but I was checking the footage the other night and I still feel like there's a lot of good information in this, so I kind of want to just come on and wrap it up and put it behind me. So that's what we're gonna do. I also have like, I guess, an official before and after photo I wanted to show you, but before that I wanted to show you day 4 and day 5. So the last clip you saw was day 3. This is a picture of day 4. There wasn't a whole lot of change. There was still some bruising and some swelling, especially on my top lip. The bruising really was not that bad. I feel like everything I did actually really helped. I've seen some pictures of people post lip filler that get really, really bad and purple bruises on their lips, but mine really wasn't that bad at all. So here's a picture from my birthday, which is day 5. I do have some lip liner and lip gloss on, but you couldn't see any of the bruising through this. The bruising was honestly mostly gone by day 5. I was still a little swollen, but I really liked the shape of them. I don't have a picture without any lip products on, unfortunately. And then the next picture I have is like the official, I guess, after photo. It's 2 weeks. So before I show that, I want to show the video footage of my before again, just so it's nice and fresh in your brain. And then this is the official 2 weeks after. I believe I just have like some chapstick on in this picture. I'm not really sure. Bruising was completely gone. I would say that my top lip is still a little swollen, but I really liked how they looked here. I thought they looked really good. And then I also wanted to show what my lips look like now. So again, I got this done all the way back in August. So it's like a little over 5 months since I got it actually. I just have some clear lip gloss on right now. They've gone down significantly, and a few weeks ago I really felt like I had nothing in my lips anymore, but when I look at pictures before I had any filler, I feel like I can still tell there's something in there. but it's not obviously as it looked a few months ago. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on for this was the bumps that I had on my lip. Those were definitely the most lingering side effects, I would say, that I really didn't hear much talk about. But in most of the areas where a needle was placed in my lips, I formed like a little bump. I don't even know what it was. When I looked it up online, it said they could take anywhere between like 2 weeks and a month to go away. Mine probably took like 3 weeks or maybe a little bit more. And you couldn't tell I had them just by looking at me, or even if I talked. I could only feel them if I like rubbed my lips together. So that was one thing I didn't really hear a lot about, and I ended up texting my injector about it because even at 2 weeks I still had some and I was getting a little bit worried. But they did eventually go away. They felt like normal lips. It was fine. That is kind of it. I would definitely do it again. I'm sure I'll do it again in the next few months. I really liked my results. The pain was not that bad, and yeah, that's kind of it. I hope this video was helpful for you if you are looking to get lip filler, especially in San Diego. I highly recommend the place I went to. I will link their website down below if you want to check it out. If you have any other questions that I didn't answer, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'd be happy to answer them. But yeah, that's it. I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.